complicated. We've never really faced anything like this. And the reason we've never faced anything like this is we've never had a Democrat Party that has as its purpose to undermine democracy, to undermine voting, to create so many avenues for fraud and confusion that we have a potential result like this. And you listen to how they talk. We just need to give the post office more money. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason the post office is going broke is because of their pension system. And I actually feel bad for the post office. You see, all the other federal government agencies and departments, they don't count their pension systems when they're counting the profit and loss, quote unquote, the credit and debt on their accounts. They don't count the pensions. Otherwise, they'd all be finished. The post office, since it's this weird arrangement, private-public, more public than private, they are required to put on their books their pensions. And so it's always broke. Because that book, that is, the books, the financial records for the post office are more honest than the financial records for the rest of the federal government. So their pensions, which are significant, are on their books. And they're way out of kilter. They can't pay them. That's us, the general taxpayer, that pays them. Just as we, the general taxpayer, pay the pensions for the bureaucrats, even though they contribute to it, they can't possibly contribute enough. That's the nature of public employees. It's the way it works. So when Schumer says, well, we just need to give the post office more money, number one, the money doesn't go to anything except their pensions. And number two, the money can't be spent fast enough to build up to tens of millions of mail-in ballots going on. And Schumer knows this. It's just another way to play the press, to play the American people, and lie. And in his own backyard, they have a congressional seat after all this time. In the Democrat primary, it's going on, 3 weeks, Mr. Producer? They still don't have a candidate. And this is going to go on all over the country with members of Congress in close races, Senate in close races, and the presidency, potentially, if they have their way. And so that's why they say Pelosi will be the president. Trump wants to be a dictator. They're laying all the traps because they're Marxists. That's what they do. They blame the victim for the house they're burning down. This wouldn't be possible if they didn't have the press in their back pocket. But the press and the Democrat Party, as I wrote in Unfreedom of the Press, they're identical. They want mail-in voting. The press was for mail-in voting. They want a total lockdown of the country. The press wants a total lockdown. They don't want teachers to go to school. The press doesn't want teachers to go to school. It's the way it is. One of the things I want to discuss next hour, by the way, is a brief history of Antifa. And it's similar to the history of Black Lives Matter. But we're going to go deep because I enjoy doing it, and I think you do too.
Before they even had us start wearing masks in the office, we're doing mail-in voting. And now CBS has came out and said, even by the first debate, September 19th, over 16 states would already voted. And by the second debate, over 35 million people, probably on an estimate, would already have voted.
Bingo, that way they've already voted, not knowing that Biden is just a shoehorn to just wait for the next person they're going to put in. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, the first debate, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to shit the bed and he's going to look like who he is. So what I'm saying, InfoWars and you get in touch with your sources. You need to start telling people what to look out for mail-in voting for us, because it's going to decide the election. And we all know it is, and we can't let it happen without having at least some things pointed out.
They're telling you, before the masks were even being put on, we're going to have mail-in ballots. And so before the debates are even done, most people would have already voted. That is so sneaky. That is so dangerous. And that gives the Democrats time to rig those mail-in ballots and stuff those ballots and pull all sorts of games. That's their secret weapon to remove Trump and defeat America.
But honestly, in any other election, we haven't had mail-in voting. So how could you tell people that you can't go to the ballot, you can't give an actual vote, and this person's not the legitimate president the whole 4 years that he's been in office, and then the moment that comes time to actually get into the ballot to vote, you can't actually go and do it. You got to do it through the mail-in system. And who knows how legitimate that could actually even work out for like 1 or 2 state elections, let alone the whole country on the same day. It just won't work.
Well, you know how the scam works. They mail these out at the homes of dead people. They mail these out at the homes of people that know they're getting the ballots of dead people, and they mail these out to people whose cat died 10 years ago, and then somebody else fills it out. And then when they get a lot of these ballots back, they can just falsify them however they want. This is the takeover, and they've already said that if Trump challenges this, he's a dictator. So they're already saying, we're going to steal it, And if you challenge it, you're a dictator, and we're going to arrest whoever aids you. That was the Washington Post headline. If any of his cabinet doesn't agree, we'll put you in jail too.